Jesus said, "By this people will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." So how are we doing with that? Well, grab your family, grab your friends, tell them it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for Coffee and Conversation. Welcome back to another Wednesday Coffee and Conversation. Glad you've joined with us. Remember, Wednesday we want you to use these videos in community. So grab your family, grab your friends, and discuss these questions with one another. We're in a series through the book of 1 John called Making Progress. And Pastor Warner has been showing us different tests in this book to show that we are really, truly Christians. First week was the ethical test. The second week was the doctrinal test. This past week was the relational test. Answering the question, how and why do we love? It was a powerful message. We heard from a number of people about how meaningful it was. So if you missed it or if you need to go back, you can find it on our YouTube or our podcast page on iTunes. And listen to the message again. But we want to provide you with some questions just to help us, again, think through the teaching on Sunday and put it into practice in our everyday lives. So here's question number 1. How does 1 John talk about love? Now, it might be a good idea to actually open up your Bible and look through 1 John once again, because there's a number of key passages in this short little book to talk about love. Talk about what it means to love one another. Talk about what it means that God is love. So first, I want you to look at the book again and discuss, what does love mean according to 1 John? You know, we have a lot of different conceptions and understandings of what love is in pop culture and in our society, but what does the Bible teach us about love? And that's our first starting point. Pastor Warner provided on Sunday 2 implications of what the teaching means for us and what it means for us to love one another. And so the next 2 questions are about that. Question number 2 is this: what does it look like to honor and respect those who are different from you? You know, we're not called to just to love those who are like us, who are very similar to us, but we're called to love one another even through disagreements. Even when there's conflict and difficulty between us, we're still called to love one another. So what does it mean to honor and respect those who are different from us? What does that look like in our lives? Maybe talk through specific struggles or examples of how you could make changes or how you could go about showing honor and respect and showing love to people who are different from you this week. That's question number 2. And the final question, question number 3. How can you serve someone this week? If love is not just a feeling or emotion, but it's an act of service, of sacrifice towards other people, then what is one way that this week you can show love to other people? One way that you can intentionally love and serve somebody else? Bonus points if it's someone who's different from you and disagrees with you. So there's your 3 questions. Again, it was a powerful message, but it's a message that we need to put into practice in our everyday lives of how do we love each other. Pastor Warner asked in the message at one point in time, how deep is our love? You know, we can say that we get along well, that we are nice to each other, that we are pleasant with one another, but how deep is our love? We want to use these 3 questions just to help us dive deeper into the love of God and into our love for one another. So there's your questions. Join us this Sunday, either in person if you register or online for the final sermon in this series, Making Progress.